Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where looking at the mission control here, I'm realizing I forgot to grab the science data from space around Kerbin. So let's of course do that real quick. That is part of the reason that we put up the communication satellite, so that should be just fine. We'll go fly this, and we will of course just run this real fast. We'll log the temperature, overwrite that, and we will transmit that. It's because we did do this previously, but we didn't have enough electric charge. We need to require complete, and then, or we need to allow partial specifically, and then we need to transmit this now. Yes, not enough electric charge, but we'll just position the solar panel like so. And now this will eventually send. We'll just... it's disengaging the SAS. Right. It would do that. So I'm going to pin this open. And we're just going to try to hold position here. A little bit. We definitely need to make some adjustments to this thing. There's no doubt about that. No doubt whatsoever. And so we will. Okay. I'm just going to time warp here because this will still continue to work, but that will freeze the rotation for us. And we can see that our antenna state is charging on up. And we'll just warp forward until that is done. And that was 2 data. However, that was enough. We're just going to leave this doing what it is, and that got us our science data from space around Kerbin. So we're going to head back to the KSC here. Excellent. And now that we're here, we need to figure out what we're going to do next. We need to bring back a moonstone, that's a ways away, and we need to explore the moon. They want us to do a spacewalk in orbit and go to the moon and stay there in a nice, stable orbit. Okay. That's something we can probably do. So let's go ahead and open up the Free India Mark IV here. I want to make some pretty drastic changes to this. To the point where this is probably going to be a Mark V. So let's go ahead and call it the Free India Mark V. And we'll save that. Excellent. And I'm going to go ahead and detach the second and first stages here. And we're just going to completely ditch this entire section. We're going to be using the... Do we want to use the 2 or the 3 crew capacity module here? I think we're going to use the 3 crew capacity module. We're going to put on the... Where's that container storage? There we go. We're going to put that on there. We're, of course, also going to put in the... If I can find it here. I'm completely blanking where this is. It's in utility. We're going to put in the Mark 16 parachute. There we go. And then we're going to put in a pair of radial mount drogue chutes. We're going to just strap those on right like that. Excellent. Next up, we are going to put in our Science Junior. And then our not inline containment unit, but rather we are going to put in our payload bay now. So we'll put in a service bay here, unless there's SM-18 service module. Okay, that's a size up. Fine. We'll put in the service bay. Go ahead and open that on up. And inside of the service bay, I want to put several things. First off, we want to put our scientific experiments in there, so we'll put a barometer. We don't need this to be in symmetry mode. We'll put a mystery goo containment unit. We will put in a KER somewhere around here. Let's see, the experiment return unit isn't super important. We'll put in a 2-hot thermometer. Anything else that we have access to right now? No, that's fine. We're also going to put in a battery pack. In fact, we're going to put in 3. 1 there. 1 there. And 1 there. Excellent. So that's the contents there, and that's going to need to be resettable by a scientist. Now, we could put in a ladder I can never remember which one of these is the actual hatch. We could put in a ladder, or we could just say, you know what, EVA suits will probably work fine. And they probably will. Okay, so we'll do that for now. We will need some photovoltaic panels, and I'm going to put 4 of those on. And I'm going to put those on, like, here. Yeah, the doors are going to open on this, and it's going to be super awkward. So I'm going to actually move it to be like that, so that it's at least looking a little bit better. And then we'll mostly try to keep those doors closed. But that should be enough power to keep us going. Excellent. And then we will, of course, need a heat shield here. And we're going to do a 1.25 meter heat shield. Hopefully, this works fine this time. It would be a little awkward if it didn't. And then we're going to need a decoupler. So a nice TD12. Excellent. And then we're just going to grab the remainder of our Free India. So essentially we're just changing the spacecraft here. We're not changing the actual boosters. So that's absolutely fine. And if we look at this, we can now make a couple of assessments. First off, we're going to be able to get a lot of science out of this thing. And that is, of course, because we're not just sending along Jebediah, we're also sending Bill as an engineer. We don't technically need him along, but we might as well work on getting some XP. And we're going to be bringing Bob as well. So that's great. I mean, Bill can, like, repack parachutes and stuff, but this will be fine for now. And Bob will be doing our primary EVAs, and Jebediah will be flying the craft. So that is great. Now I want to check if this thing has a... I believe that the pomegranate does not have any sort of attitude control. Correct. It has a built-in ablator, but we're actually literally only using it for the crew capacity. So we don't actually care about the ablator. We don't care about its ability to be decoupled. We are definitely going to need an SAS module. So we'll toss one in right there. Excellent. Now the question is, how exactly will this fly? What's our thrust to weight like? 1.55. This is thrust limited. So we could probably get away with putting additional fuel into this first stage. And I want to try a T-800. This is probably going to be too much. Like, this is a very tall rocket, right? This is a very tall rocket. That is still actually plenty of thrust to weight. We can bump that right on up, and this does include this. Yeah, 1.69. Fascinating. I'm going to do a simulated launch here that we will be reverting. I want to see what the ascent control profile feels like. So we're going to save this, and we're going to see. I did not look at the center of mass versus center of lift, which is always spooky. I probably should have looked at that, but that's why we're doing a simulated flight. Okay. So let's simulate this and see how the aerodynamics feel. Thrust to weight feels a little bit overpowered still, at least until we have the thumper burned off. I am expecting that this stage is going to be very underpowered once we no longer have the thumper. Okay, there's a lot of waggling going on there. This is not shocking to me. This is not shocking to me at all. We've got a lot of mass up here. There's no doubt about that. Let's see what this thrust to weight is like once our solid fuel is burned off. I don't care about our current trajectory. So let's take a look here. 0.94 and tipping. Okay, good to know. So that is pretty much what I expected. Right there. So we're going to take a look at the center of mass compared to the aerodynamic overlay here. Sure. So we're going to want to move our aerodynamic overlay down, I think, a bit. We'll go ahead and bring that up to 4, and we'll do something like this, although maybe a little higher than this. Maybe, man, there we go. Something along the lines of here, perhaps? Oh, that's terrible. that is awful. It was clipping in. Maybe along the lines of here. Okay. Let's see how that feels. I'm still concerned about the amount of bending that we were seeing here. We may have to strut that up. But let's see what we've got going on there. We've got a very, very tall rocket here. There's no doubt about that. And having our control being on two opposite ends of it is always a little bit interesting. Okay, let's see how this goes. Better on the bending. It's certainly a lot more stable. Of course, this is exactly what we expected. The bending is still a little bit extreme, and it's being caused, I think, by the reaction wheels right now. Like, I'm just going to actually turn off the reaction wheel authority, and let's see how this holds. Yeah, so you can see here that there's a lot of flexing coming in right here. We probably want to strut that together. We ditch the SRBs, and let's see how maneuverable we are. Fairly. We're fairly maneuverable. This is without SAS authority. Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty good result there. So we're mostly concerned right now about bending on this joint. So let's take a look and see if perhaps strutting this up would solve that. That is not what I was looking for. I'd like to strut it from here to here, but that is apparently not an option. Okay. Yeah, I'm not super shocked by this. What I'm going to do is I'm instead going to strut from here all the way up to, like, here. So what that ends up doing is that ends up linking this rocket more together. I'm also going to strut these like that. This is a really awkward way to solve this. There's no doubt about that. And the question is, how exactly solved is it after these SRBs detach? Because they're a stability point. So let's take a look at that. Once again, this is simulated. We're just taking a look at our ascent profile right now with these various changes that we've made. Also, I haven't checked to see just how much DV we have. We have quite a lot. Okay. SAS on. And I do want to have the wheel authority running this time. So let's take this off and see how this goes. It's a very nice straight up ascent. Once we start the turn, that's a lot more solid and a lot more stable. Great. Now the question is, how broken does it get when those SRBs come off? Answer, I'm guessing pretty broken, because we'll lose this support. Well, let's see. For now, we're just going to do this, just to give it a bit of a stress test. Okay. I mean, this is not an ideal scenario, right? But we're stress testing it. And as far as a stress test goes, this isn't bad. Yeah, our apoapsis is way too low, but we don't care about that right now. I'm mostly just stress testing our aerodynamics, and this is a pretty good result. We're still seeing some bending here. We're already up over our 1.0 thrust to weight ratio. So overall, I think this is not bad. Yeah, this is not exactly ideal. We're going to stop going on stability assist, and we're going to attempt to get this under some level of control. What Jeb has going on here? Yeah, this is quite controllable, actually. This is very controllable. And we're actually pushing the apoapsis back up. This ascent profile is completely borked, right? And we knew that that was going to be the case. That was just a stress test. Overall, that performed admirably. I'm quite happy with that. So, I think we're good. It's definitely going to be an interesting ascent. But I think we're ready to launch a real launch of this. So let's do so. And we're headed off to the moon. We should have plenty of Delta V to make this happen. I hope that we're not going to be burning too much DV on fighting gravity in this first stage. I feel like we maybe should split this fuel between this stage and this stage, but that would actually kind of make it worse. So let's just see how this goes in the upper orbit. Excellent. I'm going to go ahead and grab this material study for right now. Just to get that out of the way. We can reset it once we get into space. And we're just going to go straight up for a little while here. Going to go into orbital mode here. Excellent. And we're going to continue going straight up, although I am going to close these doors. Okay. We're moving pretty good here. I'm going to start turning a tiny bit. Ooh, we have a little bit of oscillation going on. Okay. We'll just try to hold it somewhere around here for right now, and then just slowly work our way over. But yeah, there's definitely some oscillation going on. That's not surprising, though. And we'll just slowly work our way over. Our thrust to weight at this point is very low, so I don't want to work over very quickly at all. I think we'll sit right around here until our apoapsis reaches perhaps 40 kilometers, and then we'll go to prograde. Just because our thrust to weight is pretty low right now. We do still have almost 2 minutes of burn left in this stage, though. So that's good. We're getting a lot of altitude, and we're not going all that fast, which is not necessarily good, but it is helpful for not fighting aerodynamic drag and getting up a little bit more efficiently. Okay. Our apoapsis is making it up to 40 kilometers. Right about now. So we're just going to now work our way over towards the prograde marker. And of course, we're pushing out our apoapsis time. And we'll just have Jeb hold prograde now. Okay. We've still got another minute left in this first stage. This is looking good. This is looking very solid. We're a little bit slow right now on our horizontal velocity, there's no doubt about that, but most of our energy is currently going into the horizontal velocity. And our time to apoapsis is still going up, so this is pretty decent. I'm a little bit concerned about our apoapsis height still being in the atmosphere, but I think, yeah, I think we're going to be okay on that front. So we'll just burn out this stage in full, and then we'll do circularization with our second stage here. Unless we don't have to. No, we have to. It's fine. And apoapsis is in space. Great. And off we go. Time to apoapsis, is that going up or down right now? It's just holding. Okay. I don't mind raising the apoapsis height currently. It's fine. Once again, this is mostly going into horizontal velocity. I'm actually going to just move over to the horizon here, though, and actually a little bit below the horizon, because our inclination is a little bit off. Just because I want this to be going purely into horizontal speed right now. We are, of course, in space right now. Time to apoapsis is increasing. That's great. I'm going to take this up to 1900 meters per second. And we are going to put in a maneuver node now. And that's an orbit right there. Excellent. So we, of course, need to point over here. This is 39 seconds of burn to get us into orbit. And that's okay. So we are going to want to burn this at T minus 19.5 seconds. Sure. So we'll just be in position for this burn right now, and then we will burn it in about 20 seconds. So let's just warp forward a little bit. Now. And off we go. Excellent. Now we do have a little bit less fuel here than I was thinking we did. For some reason I thought we had another stage beyond this one, but no. We absolutely don't. But I think... This is actually going to be pretty close, isn't it? I think what we're going to do is we're probably just going to do an orbital flight with these guys. And we'll get our material study reset and just grab some science on the way. There we go. We are in orbital mode, and we are officially in orbit. So, I mean, we could get a moon flyby here, but we do definitely have less fuel here, so we need to address this for sure. That's okay. I didn't hate that ascent profile. It was a little low on the thrust to weight on that first stage. There's no doubt about that. We may want to consider swapping for a non-gimbaling engine there. That is definitely something to consider. But right now, we're going to have Bob go ahead and EVA here. And he... Actually, first we need to collect all of our material study. Okay, and then we're going to have Bob EVA. Can he reach the Science Junior from where he is? The answer is no, he cannot. Okay, so he's going to go ahead and let go. Get his jetpack up. And he's going to drift right on over to where he can reach this. Restore the Science Junior. Excellent. And then he's going to come back over this way. And hop back in. Fantastic. Now we'll grab our material study here. There we go. We'll keep that. And we will collect it again. There we go. And we'll have Bob EVA again. And he will go ahead and let go. I want to check to see. Yep, EVA propellant still replenishes when you enter the pod. Okay. That's fine. Not exactly realistic, but fine. So we'll go ahead and restore the Science Junior. And then we will hop back in yet again. We'll grab another material study here. Now, this is not particularly good science. We're just trying to get this out of the way so that it's not polluting our X Science Here and Now menu. We're going to have Bob EVA yet again. And he's going to let go on his third spacewalk. Bob, please get your head detached from the capsule. Thank you. And we are... Oh, right. We're going to have Bob come on over here. And, okay, we're actually going to have him hop back in because I forgot to. I forgot to grab this data. Collect all. Already stored. Okay. Yeah, that is true. It is already stored. So we will have Bob come back out then, and we will let go, and we will have him restore this again, and we'll grab additional data once his head is detached. Ooh, Bob. Can you not? Thanks. Thank you. We'll have him reset the study. Actually, he didn't need to do that, but okay. He'll have another spacewalk. Bob just loves spacewalks. What can I say? And yeah, we can't take this one because that data is already in here. If we review the stored data, you can see material study in space near Kerbin, material study while flying in Kerbin. So we're going to come back, and on the way back in, we will get a flying high experiment. And that'll be fine. But for now, we're just going to orient ourselves retrograde, and we're going to go on down. We definitely need more fuel in this to get to the moon, or more specifically, we need more thrust to weight in that first stage, is what we really need. For now, though, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we will bring these guys down to the ground. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.